For this practice exercise, remove evens, we want to write a method. It's called removeEvens, and it removes the values in our even number indexes of the list, and it's going to return a new list containing those values in the original order. So for example, if we have like list1, like the following here, and we make a call and we do list1.removeEvens, setting it equal to a new list2, our list2 should return all of these values. Let's start coding this. It's going to be a public. We're returning a linked int list. So we'll have linked int list here. We're going to have it called removeEvens, and we are taking nothing as parameter. You can tell that from up here. You don't have to read further into that to get to know that, but now is the time where we need to remove evens. So we want to return a new linked int list. We are going to have to create another one to return. Linked int list, I'll call it a list2 because it's our list2, and I'm going to set it equal to a new linked int list. So we are making a new instance of this class here that we can, if we make a new instance of the class, we are going to need parentheses. And that way we can code get everything inside of this class and use it to our advantage. So this is our list2. Now we have to add into this list2 only if our list1 is not empty, right? So let's add this first value. It's in the 0th index. It actually has to get added into our list2. So we're going to say if this dot front, because remember this method is going to exist inside of this class. This class is going to be passed in, so list1 is already going to be inside this private list node front. So if this dot front does not equal to null, in other words, if our pointer is not pointing to a null data type, we are going to want to be inside of our if statement. And inside of this if statement is pretty cool because actually everything is going to happen inside of here. We just needed to check this first. We're even going to have a while loop inside of this single if statement that'll go through this entire thing. This just makes sure that we have something to work with. List2.front is going to be the head of this list2. So let's set list2.front equal to, this is going to be our other list, list1. It's not called list1 yet, but we'll fix that in a second. It's going to be this dot front. So we're grabbing the front value from this list right here. So essentially what we're doing here is we are taking this 8 and we are setting it inside of here. Now, after we do that, we should move the pointer from this node. We want to move it to this node. This is going to be the front pointer. We want to get rid of this. So what we can do is set a new front for the old list. This dot front is going to be equal to front dot next, so that puts the next value in the front for our original list. Now we also have to make a pointer out of this even part. So this even part is going to point to some value. We want it to be null for now because we don't know if there's going to be any other values being added in. So we're going to do list2 dot front dot next, and this is going to point to null. And that's pretty much going to be it for that. Now from here, we are going to want to make new list nodes. That way we can go through this list, both of these. So let's go down here and make two new list nodes. List node, and I'm going to call one list1c for list1 current. And I'm going to set it equal to our front value. So this dot front. And then we're going to make a new list node, and we're going to do list2c, list2 current, and it's going to be equal to our list2 dot front. This is also going to effectively set a first pointer to this 8 right here. Now we're going to want to examine all of these values here. I'm just going to put null for here, even though it's not null in the example, just so we'll eventually get to the end of it. And this is going to be our while loop. Again, examining all the values. So we're going to have while. We're going to obviously run this for when our current does not equal to null. But usually, or sometimes in the previous problems in the playlist link below the like button, I've also had the condition when our current.next does not equal to null. So does that apply here? Actually, yes, it does. Because what I'm going to be doing is, if you notice, this is the first index, second index, third index, fourth index, and we'll get to this in a second. So the way that we're going to add this to the even part is with a dot next. So the second index is going to be added through the dot next and is going to be removed. And then we're going to have a link that goes like this, and then our pointer is going to move to the next one, this 3, and then we're going to check our dot next, and let's just say that this one is null. Well, if our .next is null, we've come to the end of our list. We don't need to add this to our list. So we're also going to check if our current .next is not equal to null. So we'll do and current .next does not equal null. So both these conditions are going to be true. We're going to be inside of this while loop, and now we want to do some assigning. So let's assign, like I said, our list1 next to our list2 next. So list2c, the list2 current dot next is going to be equal to our list1c dot next. This 17 is now going to be right here. Now let's move this pointer over one. It's going to look like a list2c dot next is equal to list2c dot next. So that's just going to put it at the next position. After this, we are going to want to take this 17 out. So basically we're going to have the next value point to our next. So list1c dot next is equal to our list1c dot next. And I've talked to you about the scenario if we come upon a null value right here, right? And we want to end. Well, we still need to point this to a null value to end our list. And this also gives us a chance to make a next node. So going back to the problem, we're going to have an if statement. If we want to check our current node, so it's going to be list2c. If it does not equal to null, we want to point it to a null value, because if it does, then we don't need to point anything else anywhere because we have reached the end. Like let's say this was in the 4th position, like this was not here at all. Then we would basically be adding the null value in here, and so it wouldn't matter. So if our list2c again does not equal to null, we're going to do list2c dot next is equal to a null value. I almost forgot also, now that we've connected these right here, our current pointer is still here for our list1. That needs to move over. So we're just going to do list1c, and that's going to be the list1 current, is equal to list1c dot next, because we've now connected the two nodes together, the odd one. And that should be pretty much it. We can close off the while loop, close off the if statement. We're going to return our list2 finally, and we can try submitting this. And of course I did something wrong. I'm used to always putting current just as the current list, but remember we're running through our list1c. So this should be list1c, and this also should be list1c. It's the only one that we are going to be iterating through. And that'll pass 5 out of 5 tests. So that is the code for this practice it remove evens problem. I hope that helped, and I hope you have a great day. If you want more practice hits, it's in that description below the like button.